To understand why solidarity is so threatening to those in power, we must first understand the lengths that they've gone to in order to divide us. One of the earliest and most pivotal moments in U.S. history that highlights the power of unity and that the elite's fear occurred in 1676 with Bacon's Rebellion. This was a rebellion that involved poor white and black people coming together to resist the oppressive control of the wealthy colonial elite in Virginia. For the first time in history, the oppressed saw beyond their differences and recognized a shared enemy, the colonial planter class, which controlled the land, the resources, and the labor for both the enslaved black and indentured white populations, as well as the indigenous peoples. At its core, Bacon's Rebellion was not just about race or class, it was about shared economic struggles. Poor whites and blacks alike were being exploited by the same colonial system that sought to maintain power through extraction and oppression. The unity among these groups posed a serious threat to the elites who had spent years building a system of control that relied on their divide and conquer tactics. The elite's fear was rooted in the understanding that when the lower classes, regardless of race, unite, they threaten the very foundation of the existing power structure. They feared that this unity could lead to social upheaval and the collapse of their dominance. In response, they use a calculated and deeply strategic tactic to suppress this growing solidarity: divide and conquer. Instead of trying to unite the working class or address their grievances, the colonial elite chose to pit the poor against each other. They did this by using race as a tool of division, reinforcing the idea that whiteness could be a marker of privilege even if it didn't protect poor whites from grueling labor or abuse. This was the birth of race-based slavery, a system that deliberately placed poor whites above enslaved blacks, creating a social hierarchy that granted symbolic advantages to poor whites, even as both groups were subjected to brutal exploitation. By promoting this racial hierarchy, the elite diverted attention from the common interests shared by poor whites and enslaved blacks. Instead of seeing that they were both being used and oppressed by the same system, the two groups were taught to blame each other for their suffering, allowing the elite to maintain their control. This act of division not only suppressed the possibility of a unified rebellion, but it also created a system of racialized oppression that would shape the social, economic, and political structures of America for centuries to come.